Welcome back to Awesome Possum Hobbies and Games. I am Chris, and it's time for another Modern Horizons 3 opening. This one is a commander deck. This is Tricky Terrain. Let's go. Modern Horizons 3 is coming out here shortly. This is the commander deck, Tricky Terrain. This is all about blue, green, and it's all about ramping lands and growing value. This deck includes a sample booster pack of 2 cards, plus 2 legendary traditional foils. So those foils will be your commander and your secondary commander. Let's go ahead and open her up, see what we get. Price point for these are currently going for about $69.99. You can find them for more, you can find them for probably not less. That's about what the price is going for right now as a pre-release price. Included is the promo collector booster sample pack. Spin down, these are great little spin downs if you don't want to use dice or spin down counters. I usually keep these on hand to give away to newbies that don't have their dice with them. A cardboard deck box, which I usually just throw those in the recycling, empty thing, and everything else in the box. Throw that right in the recycling. Also on here is more packaging, which has some punch out counters, which are all just single-sided. And then some other artwork. Inside here is also a nice little fold-out printout that talks about what the deck is, commander rules, and then on the opposite side is some information about Omo, Queen of Vesuva. There we go. Let's go ahead and talk about the deck itself. So the deck itself, let's zoom in. This is Omo, Queen of Vesuva, for a combination color of green, blue, 2 generic for a 1/5 legendary creature shapeshifter noble. Whenever this card enters a battlefield or attacks, put a everything counter on up to 1 target land and up to 1 target creature. Each land with an everything counter on it becomes a land with everything. It has all additional other types. So it becomes an Urza Mine, it becomes a mountain, it becomes all those things. And each non-land creature with an everything counter on it becomes every creature type. So a creature type would be becomes a, I don't know, shapeshifter. It pretty much becomes a changeling, so which has all creature types. And you know, it's a mountain. It's not mountain. It's an elf. It is a soldier. It is everything. So the secondary commander is Jyoti Moag, ancient, green, blue, and 2 generic for a 2/4 legendary creature elemental. Shout out to Jyoti. Hey, you got your own card, buddy. When this card enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 green forest dryad land creature token for each time you've cast your commander from the command zone this game. They are affected by summoning sickness because they are creatures. At the beginning of each combat, land creatures you control get +X/+X, where X is this creature's power. Fog Bank versus Power Plant versus Tower versus Mine, Setter Wayfinder, Arcane Denial, nice little reprint. Not worth a ton these days. Some Gilgate, Treasure Cruise, Soul Ring, Basilisk Gate, which is actually a new card. So it is a land/gate card. It is taps produce colorless mana, pay 2 generic, and tap. Target creature gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of gates you control. Activate only as a sorcery. Beast Within, nice little reprint. Tata Yova, Propaganda, Simic Growth Chamber, Florius Vine Wall. So it's a green, 1 generic creature, plant, wall, 0/2. There's a battlefield. Look at top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal a land card from among them. Put it on into your. Put the rest of them in the bottom of your deck in random order, and put the land into your hand. Arcane Signet, Desert of the Indomitable, Haship Oasis, March from Veil's Velis Veil. A blue and 2 generic for a sorcery. Choose a non-basic land type. Each land you control of that type becomes a copy of target creature you control until end of turn. So you can choose Desert. So it seems like deserts and gates are plentiful in this deck so far. And they gain haste until end of turn, and it has flashback of a blue and 4 generic. Wonderscape Sage, blue and 1 generic for a 1/3 creature Moonfolk Wizard with flying. Tap, return a land you control to its owner's hand. Draw a card, then discard a card unless that land has a non-basic land type. Copy land, a blue 2 generic enchantment. You may have this card enter the battlefield as a copy of any land onto the battlefield. That's it's an enchantment in addition to his additional other types. Desert Warfare, a green and 3 generic for an enchantment. Whenever you sacrifice a desert, whenever a desert card is put into your graveyard from your hand or library, put that card onto the battlefield under your control at the beginning of your next end step. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control 5 or more deserts, create that many 1/1 green, red, and white sand creature tokens. They gain haste. Trench Post, it is a land locust. It taps, produce colorless, pay 3 generic, and tap. Target player mills a card for each locust you control. Sage of the Maze, a green 2 generic. It's a 1/3 creature elf wizard. Taps to add 2 mana in any combination of colors, and then you can also tap until end of turn. Target land you control because of XX Citizen, where with haste in addition to his other types, where X is twice the number of gates you control. Activate only as a sorcerer. Tap and untap gate you control. Untap this creature. Nice. Lazotep Quarry. It's a land desert. Taps to reduce a colorless. Tap, sacrifice a creature out of mana of any color. 2 generic and X. Tap, sacrifice a desert, exile target creature card with mana value of X from your graveyard. Create a token that's a copy of it, except it is a 4/4 black zombie. Activate only as a sorcery. Rampant Fragaton Tua, a green 2 generic for a 3/3 creature frog with trample. It gets +10/+10 for each player who's lost the game. Whenever this card deals combat damage to a player, you may mill that many cards, put any number of land cards from among them onto the battlefield tapped. Man, that card's kind of cool. Sunken Palace. Sunken Palace is a land / it's a cave, and there's a battlefield tap. Taps to reduce blue, a blue and a generic, and tap. Exile 7 cards from your graveyard. Add a blue mana. When you spend this mana, cast a spell or activate an ability. Copy that spell or ability. You may choose new targets for the copy. Horizon of Progress. Horizon of Progress is a land, tap, pay a life, add 1 mana of that a land you control could produce, pay 3, and tap. You may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield, tap, pay 1, and tap. Sacrifice this card to draw a card. The card does a lot for... It's weird. Planar Nexus. This is probably one of the best cards in all of the Commander sets. Planar Nexus is a land. Planar Nexus is every non-basic land card type. So non-basic land card types include Cave, Desert, Gate, Lair, Locust, Mine, Power Plant, Sphere, Tower, and Urzas, as well as many, many others. Tap produces colorless, or pay 1 and tap. Add 1 mana of any color. This card, if you have one of the Power Plants or other Urza lands, they can become active, so they can go through and produce more than their standard just by having this guy in play and not having to have any of the other ones in play. Aggressive Biomancy. XX blue green sorcery. Create X tokens that are copies of target creature you control, except they have when this creature enters the battlefield. It fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. If you have tons of mana, this thing can produce lots of guys. Talon Gates of Madara. land gate. When it enters the battlefield, up to one target creature phases out. So, you can put it in play and phase out one of your things in Wrath of God, or you can put it in play and phases something out, and you can attack, and that one creature won't be able to block till end of turn. It also taps produce a colorless mana. You pay 1 and tap, add a 1 mana of any color, then pay 4. Put this card from your hand onto the battlefield. So you can use it as its own little battle trick. So if someone's attacking you, you can well, no, let's go ahead and phase that guy out so he's not really attacking me right now. Hydroid Crisis, Terra Saturn, Lair of the Hydra, Nissa Steward of Elements, Magnus of the Candelabra. This is a cool card. For green, it's a creature / human wizard. It's a 1/2. Pay X and untap X target land. So you have lands that produce more than 1 mana. You're able to tap them, and then you can untap them so you can produce a ton of extra mana. This guy's kind of cool mana generator. Lumbering Falls, Manland, Blast Zone, Apex Devastator. That's a great reprint. 2 green, 8 generic for a 10/10 creature Chimera Hydra that has Cascade, 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 Cascade. When you cast a spell, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card that costs less. You may cast it without paying its mana cost. Put the exile cards on the bottom of your library in random order. Multiple instances of Cascade each trigger separately. Dreamroot Cascade, Summary Dismissal, Maya Coast, Flooded Grove, Hour of Promise, Remnant Excavator, Hydra Broodmaster. This is an interesting guy. We haven't seen this guy in a while. For 2 green, 4 generic. It's a 7/7. And then you can have Monstrous X, so XX and a green. If this creature isn't monstrous, you can put X +1/+1 counters on it. So to give it +1/+1, you have to pay 3. To give it +2/+2, you have to pay 5, and so on and so forth. And then when it becomes monstrous, create XX green Hydra creature token. So if you have a ton of mana, you get a ton of decent sized creatures. So it goes perfect in this deck. Drown in Dreams. This is a cool little card. Blue, 2 generic, X instant, choose 1. If you control a commander, as you cast a spell, you may choose both instead. Target player draws X cards, or if you have the commander in play, target player mills X cards twice. Vigilant Snar, Vivian Reed, Yamaya, Cradle of Growth. This is a great reprint. It came out originally last year with Modern Horizons 2. Was it last year or was it the year before? I don't know. Time is all kind of wibbly wobbly to me these days. Yamaya, Cradle of Growth. Legendary land. Each land is a force in addition to its other land types. Dryad of Island Grove for a green and 2 generic. For a 2/4 enchantment creature, Nymph Druid. Dryad. You may play an additional land on each of your turns. Lands you control are every basic land type in addition to its other types. Mirage Mirror, Overflowing Basin, Temple of Mystery, Chromatic Lantern, O-Stone, Scoot Squirm, nice reprint, Ovenwald Hydra, Evacuation, Replicated Technique. This is a new card for a blue and 4 generic. It's a sorcery with Demonstrate. So blue and 4 colors for create a token that is a copy of target permanent you control, and then Demonstrate. When you cast a spell, you can copy. If you do, an opponent can also copy it. Players may choose new targets. Finale of Revelation, Mana Reflection. That's a nice little reprint. Originally in one of the Lorwyn sets. 2 green, 4 generic for enchantment. If you tap a permanent for mana, it produces twice as much mana instead. Nice. Rose, Titan of Nature's Wrath. Man, this card used to be a $25, $30 card, and now it's $5 or $6 because they've kind of it's rotated out of standard, and now it's been printed into kind of oblivion. Now that it's a fixed card for a blue, a green, and 1 generic, it's a 6/6 legendary creature, Elder Giant. When it enters the battlefield, you sacrifice it unless it escaped. When it enters the battlefield, or attacks, you gain 3 life and you could draw a card, and then you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. Escape cost is 2 green, 2 blue, and exile 5 other cards from your graveyard. Man, this guy was bonkers good when it was standard legal way back in the day. Now, how the mighty have fallen. Curse of the Swine. Vesuva. Dark Depths. Great way to copy things. Thespian Sage. Speaking of which, combo! If you don't know, this comes into play with 10 ice counters on it. You have to pay 3 to remove an ice counter from it. When it has no ice counters on it, you sacrifice it. If you do, you create a legendary 2020 black avatar creature token with flying and indestructible. And this copies that, but doesn't get the ice counters because it's already in play. Avengers of Zendikar. Seer's Sundial. Rampaging Boloth. Expedition Map. Hidden Cataract. Hidden Nursery. Volatile Fault. Growth Spiral. Elvish Rejuvenator. Urban Evolution. Harmonize. Thornwood Falls. Cloud Post. We haven't seen that one in a while. Cloud Post is a land locust. Enters the battlefield tapped. Tapped produces a colorless for each locust on the battlefield. And if you have the right cards in play, all of your cards will be locust cards. So this is interesting. Sylvan Scrying to be able to go get the best land in your deck at the time. 6 land. Pugnify. Lush Oasis. Nice little desert. Skullwinder. Desert of Mindful. Command Tower. Poison Dark Frog. Glimmer Posts. You gain a life for every locust on the battlefield. Eureka Moment. Quadranix Campus. And some basics. So there's some basics. Thick Stock. Commander, which I'm not a fan of those. Merit token and Sand Warrior token. Ape, Plant, Forest Dread, Boar, Beast, Copy, Beast, Insect, Zombie, Elephant, Hydra, Boar, Zombie, Plant, Beast, Elephant, Forest Dryad, and Vivian Reed Emblem. And then on your turn card plus popular Magic formats, let's go ahead and talk about the Collector's Booster sample pack. Let's open it up. Check her out. Only 2 cards in here, so be careful opening these guys. This card is a advertisement. Arena of Glory. Arena of Glory enters the battlefield tapped unless you control a mountain. Taps produce red. And red and tap, exert Arena of Glory. Add 2 red mana if this mana is spent on a creature spell against haste on turn. And Nesting Grounds. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Until next time, hope you have a fantastic week. And remember to keep it rolling.
And thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please take the time to like the video and subscribe if you'd like to stay updated. Have a great day and keep them rolling.